Hi folks, Motormind here. I had a comment on one of my videos. It reads, if you actually believe that a charged four-cylinder engine on a large vehicle will last, you, my friend, are no mechanic. A turbocharger by design increases your horsepower, hence wears out your engine faster. In this video, I want to kind of show that this comment is actually not true. For one, I've been a mechanic for over 20 years. I'm a very good mechanic, I'm highly trained, and I've worked in several different brands. So I'm going to make a video here and I'll prove how this is wrong. Alright folks, so in the video, referring to Scotty actually works on one of these Ford Explorers with the EcoBoost engine in it. Now he actually looks at trying to fix it. And I did actually look into the code. And actually the code has to do with most likely a vacuum leak to the pressure relief valve of the turbo. I do apologize in that video. I misheard Scotty and I thought it was a turbo boost pressure. It's actually it was overpressure to the pressure relief valve. And if you look up the code that he mentions in that, the two most likely things, it has to do with a vacuum leak in one of the supply lines. So I'm still right. I'm gonna back myself up on that. Changing the spark plugs would have done absolutely nothing for that. That's not right. So that was misdiagnosed by him for sure. And then there's other people who worked on the vehicle as well. They probably should be looking for a vacuum leak or a damaged or a collapsed hose or something like that, or something plugged up. But moving on to the comment that was onto that video by a YouTuber or somebody watching it. So I was looking at this vehicle here. Now, quick looking at that, I looked at the specs, and that vehicle, you see there. Zoom in there. Now the base, so the smallest one is 4,385 pounds. So if we take that, convert that to kilograms, because a lot of the vehicles on here are in kilograms. That's 1,989 kilograms. Now, obviously, the higher spec one, which has the same engine, still has a 3.2 liter EcoBoost, is 4,556. So we'll go 4,556, 4,006. So you're looking at 2,066 kilograms. Now, there's a few examples I just want to show here why that comment is wrong. Okay, first example would actually be Toyota Land Cruiser. Toyota Land Cruisers have a four-cylinder turbocharged engine, maybe slightly bigger, but it's that one weighs in at 2,130 kilograms. Now, obviously, the Toyota Land Cruiser is absolutely notorious for being a very reliable, robust vehicle, been all around the world, and they're nearly bulletproof. So right there, his thing is wrong. This vehicle weighs more. It's four-wheel drive. I don't know if the Explorer was or wasn't, because they do make two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. Absolutely, these things get hammered on, being on. In fact, I worked on one that was going around the world. I worked at Toyota, and the only thing it was in for, an oil change. And last time I had an oil change, maybe about 4 days before that. It done that much mileage in that 4 days. It was due for an oil change, and it was still going strong. It was loaded to the gunnels. I mean, it probably was way over that because it was kitted up, had stuff on the outside and everything, and that thing was still trucking along. And these things often do. That may be an older. That's even if you look at some of the newer ones. Here's your curb weight here. Yeah, so these are some of the newer ones here. As you can see that. I was showing an old picture there, but that's the new specs there. So it is 2,130 kilograms. Another example is Mitsubishi Shogun Sport. Now there's the Shogun Sport and the actual Shogun, and the Shogun is actually bigger. So this is the smaller one, more comparable to the Explorer. The actual other Shogun would be closer to something like more like an Excursion or something like that, bigger. Once again, this one here is at 2,105 kilograms. So once again, it's heavier than the Explorer. This one here runs a 2.5 liter turbo four-cylinder engine, four-wheel drive. Once again, notorious, well-made. Don't have any problems with them. I've seen these, I've worked on them, and they're absolutely fine. So, once again, four-cylinder turbo engine, big vehicle, does fine. Here's another one. Here's called a Vauxhall Antara. Now this is, Vauxhall, which is GM Chevrolet. This one here weighs in 2,345 kilograms. This has a 2.2 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine in it. As you can see there, 2.2 liter. And once again, they're quite good. Don't have any problems with them. They may have a little bit of issues with body and stuff like that, some of the rust, corrosion, but the body engine-wise is what the comment was about, was if the engine would last, these do fine. Here is a Ford Transit. There you are, now we're going forward. 2.2 liter turbocharged engine. This thing weighs in at 2,600 kilograms. Now this one here, if you look at it, that's the short wheelbase, low roof. So that's the smallest one. It has a 2.2 liter. I can go down. There's a bigger one, 2.2 liter. That one weighs at 2,800 kilograms. Here's another one. See, this is a smaller one again. It's a 26. There's a medium roof. And they actually go to high roof. There's a long wheelbase. Look at that. That one there, 2.4 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. And that weighs 3,300 kilograms. Quite a bit heavier. And all these vehicles are 100%. I've seen these vehicles go hundreds of thousands of miles. I've seen them way up there. I think I've seen some approaching a million miles. Not a problem. They're good. They're good vehicles. Every vehicle is going to have issues. You're going to have bad ones that come out of the matter. Even Toyota's had some. Scotty's got the Toyota Matrix. I worked at Toyota for a while. And they were notorious for the engines going on them. Bottom ends just start knocking on them, stuff like that. The only way to replace those, either fix them, is replace the engines. Bad thing is, Toyota doesn't make replacement engines. You had to get one from a scrapyard. But they're known to go. So all you do is you're taking a scrapyard engine, you're putting it in, hoping it works, until that one blows up. Then you get another scrapyard engine, put it in, run that, until that one blows up. Eventually, that's why they stop making the Matrix. So he goes bangs on about Toyotas and stuff like that. Toyotas are good, are nothing wrong against them. Okay, the trucks, he says about that, but Toyota Tundras and Tacomas had a massive issue for a while in which the frames would rust out and the corrosion actually get in between the layers of the steel in the frame and start rusting. So by the time you see them rust, it's actually gone all the way through that frame. And even when they had the recall, which all it was grind off the rust, put some stuff on the outside and paint it over. And I've seen ones that have had the corrosion, put up on the lift, and frame snaps in half. And go, oh crap, And the only reason Toyota done that is to try to get those frames past the 10-year warranty. That's all. After the warranty, they didn't give a crap. That was it. Like, oh, it's your problem now. If we had one that came in that had a snap frame already, then the fix was, okay, replace the frame. So they stripped the whole truck down, take everything off, the cab, the box, everything had to come off, engine, everything. They gave you a bare frame. You had to put it all back together. That was a fix. And it's only if it came in and it was already snapped in half, because they had kind of no choice, did they? I'm going to bring up one more here. One that I actually personally own. So I'm just going to show you here. Just going to see. Now here's one. 1994. It's base. Now here's one here. Let me see, get some images up of it. Okay, there you are. See it there? It's a big vehicle, isn't it? Right, 4-wheel drive, 7-passenger. Has a 2.8 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. I personally own one of these. I have one of 1994. Absolutely fine. Bulletproof. Been all around the world. These are fantastic vehicles. The only thing you suffer with is if they go out, because they're from Japan. These are actually great imports. You will see them sometimes around the States or Canada. All around the world, people have imported them. That's where mine's from. It was never meant to be out of the country. Is that the frames, the chassis and stuff like that, just needs to be protected a bit, especially with salty climates, because they come from where they're coming up in northern Japan, and it's a little bit less salty. They don't use salt on the roads and stuff like that. Other than that, the engine, gearbox, and stuff like that, and with any typical old Japanese vehicle, bodies will get a little rusty. Engine, drivetrain, perfectly fine. So the comment of a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine in a large vehicle, and that is a large vehicle, will not last. Well, I personally have one, It's 26 years old, still going strong, absolutely fine. So I'm sorry, but that's a very wrong comment. And like I said, I've been a mechanic for a very long time. I've worked on 2 different continents. I've worked in several different countries. I've worked for several different manufacturers, luxuries. I've worked for anything from I've worked on Maseratis. I've worked on Porsches. I've worked on Ferraris. I've worked on Toyotas. I've worked on Suzukis. You name it, I've worked on them. I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for a long time. I own my own company now. I'm a diagnostic and repair. Um, and see, you may not see a lot of repair videos right now on my channel, because I'm working at that and trying to kind of get where I can, make sure that customers and stuff are happy with that. I'm a very busy man. I don't have time to make lots of videos. I'm not Scotty Kilmer. I can't make 3 videos a day and spend, the editing on his videos, is quite, it's quite drastic. I mean, he does quite a bit of editing, which I'm going to say, which means to me that he does a lot of video, it's a long video that he's cut down to about 10 minutes. Because all the jumping, obviously he's cut that. So that's a long video. So he spent a long time on that vehicle making that video. And nobody can argue with me with that. If you don't believe me, well, watch a video. There's so much editing in that. So it's quite honestly, my videos aren't as good as his. I fully admit that. I don't have the editing. Okay, yeah, I'm using a phone, watching a screen. I'm still trying to figure it out. I haven't been doing it nearly as long as he has. He's been doing this since 2007, 2008, whatever, when he started his channel. His channel's old. Yes, he's got lots of subscribers, but he's been doing this for a long time. So, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with him doing his videos. I don't have a problem with what he does his advice and stuff like that. It's when he does these fixes on these vehicles and he gives dangerous advice. And it is dangerous advice. I've talked to several colleagues on trade. I had them look at his videos, and they've all had the exact same reaction. Stuff that you said, that when we said the wheel bearing, tell the customer to wait until the wheel bearing is that bad that starts affecting the steering. And that'd be funny if it starts affecting the steering, and the wheels are nearly falling off, they're pretty much falling off. If it's affecting the steering, the wheel bearing is that collapsed, you're most likely going to be in an accident. And of course, it's going to affect your steering because you're going to move, it's going to clunk, it's going to bang, and you're going to have very little control. It's just. Such dangerous advice he gave there. It still just blows me away. I can't believe he said that. A few other ones he shows looks like he's fixed something, and it's quite obvious he hasn't, or it's very, very obvious. I've pointed stuff out, and that's all I'm just trying to do. I'm just trying to make people aware. Just be cautious watching his videos, especially his repair videos. Sometimes he does okay, but I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot more basic stuff he does. He reads different things. He reads different codes. He'll read something in the PCM, but he'll ignore everything else. I just seen one he done today. It was a vehicle, a Toyota, and it had miles MPG was too high or something like that. And one thing he blatantly ignores is the TPMS light on. He ignores the fact that maybe the tire pressure is low, and he says, he sees the light, sees the code, and goes, "Oh, it's the sensor's down." But not always. Sometimes it'll flash a code up in TPMS, and it'll say left front tire pressure too low. So the only time I've really seen where it's TPMS issue is the light flash at you and let you know there's a problem. If it's unsteady, it's reading the tire pressure light is low. There's other things on that vehicle that could have been, but that's one of the first things we checked. Just make sure all the tire pressures are low. 5 psi. Or even less than that sometimes can affect your miles per gallon. So it's definitely, I would have been on that right away. I would have checked it right away because people say they check the tire pressures, and you ask them when did you check it? 6 months ago. And when would you figure? When did you notice the miles per gallon are getting low? So about 3 months ago. You haven't, and you find a nail sticking on a tire. Okay, well there you are. You're down like 15 psi on a tire. Yeah, well that's going to affect your miles per gallon. Especially it's a back tire or something like that. Where, they're not really feeling the steering, so they're just ignoring it. Or the wheels off center, and they don't really care. They go, I've hit the curb a few times. No, it's and there's a few other things too. So I said I know some people. I've rubbed some people the wrong way with these videos. I'm not trying to make anybody angry. I'm just simply trying to point out if I'm calling it as I see it. So, but this comment with I'm not a mechanic and stuff like that. I've quite proven that a lot of these vehicles are notoriously good on for being reliable vehicles. I could keep going and going, but like that. And okay, the Ford Explorer EcoBoost, it may not have issues. I've worked on EcoBoost here, and I've seen some issues, but it's mainly due to lack of maintenance, and not. And when something has like coolant hose or something sprung a leak, customers just left it and let it run out of coolant, and that's when you have issues. Well, you're gonna have the issues in any vehicle. They are small engines. They are kind of tuned, kind of to the peak. They're not performance engines. You can't be banging and racing on them because they're not designed for that. They're called Eco Boost, not Super Boost. It's not an ST. The 2.3 liter in this vehicle here is actually the same one that they use in the Ford RS. But it's been detuned a bit and kind of tamed down a bit, and that Ford RS is an absolute monster. It flies. But yeah, it's a performance vehicle, and guys are gonna absolutely hammer on them and freaking chuck them around and abuse them, and they're gonna break. You abuse something, it's gonna break, right? It's a vehicle, and any vehicle is gonna be like that. So and just pointing that out. You can like this video, great. If you don't like it, then click the thumbs down. Put a comment down, but I've proven my point here. The comment of a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine in a heavy vehicle is will wear out. That's not the case. Perhaps in a Ford Explorer, but not in all vehicles. And also the comment in that was that turbos are up your horsepower. That's not entirely true. A turbocharger will make an engine more efficient. It puts more a larger air charge, air fuel charge into the combustion chamber, maximizing that combustion chamber, and you get so you end up getting more power because you're making the engine run more efficiently. You're shoving more charge into that combustion chamber. So so you're getting more efficiency out of that engine. And if the engine is designed and built to be turbocharged and stuff, and you keep up on the maintenance and stuff, then the engine will be robust and it will run fine. It's when you ignore things or you go over your service schedule and you don't use the right kind of oil. Like I said, or you're just hammering and abusing it. Any vehicle you do that, any vehicle you hammer and abuse on, it's going to have problems. It only takes so much, and eventually you're gonna have mechanical failure. It's just part of it's that you want to play, you gotta pay, right? So, but back to the point. It's just that that was wrong, and it said a turbocharger is not designed only to increase the horsepower, and the EcoBoost is designed to help a smaller engine run as efficiently as possible, so that you can use it in different vehicles. And see where I've seen like the Ford Focus and Fiesta run the 1 liter EcoBoost in them. It works well for what it is meant for. It is meant for scooting around town. It's good for like doing little trips. It was never actually meant for doing doing 1,000-mile trips everywhere. It's a 1 liter EcoBoost engine. You want to do long trips. You want to do big, huge, long runs all over the country and do motorway stuff. You get a big engine because a big engine will be cheaper on fuel in the long run because it's going to lumber along. It's going to be not stressed. Small, but in town, in stop go, that big engine's working. You're using that big lump, and that's where these small engines. That's what they're meant for. That's what they're for. They're for like doing the school run. They're for doing like running around and going to the shops and stuff like that. That's what these vehicles are for. That's what they're designed for. That's the market they're aimed at. They're not aimed at the people who do 500 miles a day going to from work, or that they do long road trips up to the cabin all the time. You want that, you get the 3.5 liter, EcoBoost if you want, which is in the half-ton trucks. I know some news has some issues with that. I think Ford's working through that. Or go for the V8. If you're doing motorway, if you're doing highway all the time, then get the vehicle, do your research, get the vehicle that you know for your fitting purposes. And that's the only thing I usually kick off about, is that sometimes salesmen don't. Salesmen will sell you a vehicle because they don't really care. They don't really care. Salesmen just want to make the sale. That's just that's what they get paid for. They get commission. You know, usually they get a base amount, and then it's all about the commission, and that's what they're paid for. If they don't sell vehicles, they lose a job, right? So they want to sell that vehicle. But you know, do your research. But a four-cylinder turbocharged engine more than likely will last in a vehicle, especially in the new ones where you got like an 8-speed electronically shifted transmission. Well, now you got a vehicle, you know, a gearbox that's gonna that engine's have to work as hard because it has all these gears. So it's gonna keep that engine. It's gonna have all these torque ratios they can use, and so it's not gonna stress. So yes, they can use smaller engines in vehicles because they now have all these fancy gearboxes and stuff like that that can handle that and allow that to happen. And really, you know, if you had enough gears. Another example here is some of the vehicles in Europe and stuff like that. You got long haul trucks like DAF and stuff like that. DF has a 4.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine in a semi truck trailer. It's freaking like 20,000 pounds or something like that. It's it does like 1,000,000 miles a year, and they're reliable because if they weren't reliable, nobody would drive. No company would have them. So that's there's another example there. So kind of a bit of a rant on this one here, but there you got Saab Scan, Saab, they still it's their heavy duty one. They have a 4-cylinder. You got the new Cummins 4-cylinder inline 4-cylinder, which is based on the 12 valve. It's supposed to be a brilliant little engine, and because it's based on the 12 valve, it's pretty sure 12 valve with two cylinders knocked off of it. So it's right there, it's the 12 valve is a freaking beast little engine, was dead reliable, cheap, and that's what Cummins to come up with the little 4-cylinder in for doing engine swaps. So there you go, 4-cylinder Cummins turbo diesel engine, 4-cylinder turbo in a half-ton truck. It's a big truck for off-roading and stuff like that. It has all the torque you need, but it's also ultra reliable. So once again, there's another one that's coming up here, and I think that's on the market now. You can buy that. You can buy the engine separately, and I don't know if Dodge is putting them in yet. I know that with Fiat and all that. I don't know if they have a Cummins anymore, but yeah, there you are. So click the like button and let me know if you like this video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.